Welcome back to the Vispeahen Data Analytics and Visualization Platform. In this video, we will see how to edit a data on a chart after adding that data to the chart. Let's get started. Order and limit. We have already met the sections that are displayed when we open the data window in Vispeahen. In the column mapping section, order and limit welcomes us first. The number in the limit box determines how many rows of the data we add to this chart will be shown. Our data may contain millions of rows, and only a certain part of it may be needed. In this case, we can limit the incoming data. Next is the column sort. In this field, we can drag and drop the work in order of the data columns we added to the chart. The sorting made in this field does not affect the display order on the chart. As long as the data sequences inside the columns are turned off, the column sort has no effect. The data sequence of the rows inside the columns is done with the buttons next to each column. While off, the data is rendered as it comes from the source, but you can arrange the data in ascending or descending sequence. This sequence works according to the order of the columns. If there is a sequence in two columns, the column in the first order is sorted first. For example, we can sort the years in descending order, then the months in ascending order, or we can sort in alphabetical order. In addition, if there is a row limit, for example, if the limit is 10, the first 10 rows will be fetched according to the sequence in ascending order. We can also set the sequence to descending and have the last 10 rows fetched. Default filter. Default filters enable the data added to a chart to be directly filtered. By using the filter icon next to a data column, a default filter can be added to the chart for that data column. Clicking on the filter icon opens the default filter section at the bottom of the data window. Here, we can choose which operator the filter will work according to. We can directly add one or more values from the data column as a filter. Alternatively, we can type a value or add a formula from the window that opens using the magnifying glass icon. Let's see them all in action. First, let's create a filter by selecting from the values in the data column. In this chart, we can choose to see only the data of those 2 years by selecting the 2 years we want to see from the year options. Or we can change the filter operator and select the year we do not want to see. We can use greater than to see the data starting after a certain year, less than to see the data before, and create a default filter according to our needs with all other operator options. To create a filter, by typing a value, we can stay on the Value tab in the pop-up window that opens after clicking on the magnifying glass icon and type the value we want here. When we switch to the other tab, there is a field where we can write the formulas we want with SQL queries. We can make the filter more comprehensive by narrowing the query with this formula. In this feature, which we can show with examples such as those starting with the letter A or those containing the letter S, we can specify the default filter by writing the formula we want. In addition to all these, we can also filter the graph by adding the columns that should not be visible on the graph or that have no place to be added to the hidden field. The important point here is to ensure that the data is included in the query by clicking the eye icon next to the column added to the hidden field. For this example, we've added a column named City to the hidden field to filter some cities in this map that works with latitude-longitude data. From this column, we created a default filter to select the cities whose data we do not want to be shown on the map. There is no requirement to transfer a data column to the column mapping field to create a default filter. We can also quickly create a filter by clicking on the filter icon next to a column displayed in the Tables and Columns window on the left in the Data window. It should be noted that if the selected column is not from the table that created the chart, there must be a join between the two tables for the default filter to work. Stay tuned for how to edit data on a Graph Part 2. Vispeahen.